Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this web event, which is organized by the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Thessaloniki in cooperation with the well-known eBay platform. Today we have with us Danielle, which is a business development manager on emerging global markets. Which will focus, representing eBay, of course, which will focus on how can eBay help your business grow within this web environment. Before I give the floor to Danielle, I would like to ask Mr. Vlachogiannis, the first Vice President of the Thessaloniki Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to address the audience. Mr. Vlachogiannis.
Thank you, Theodore. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is a very great pleasure for me and for your chamber to introduce during this webinar Danielle Biran, who will give us insight for projects developed by the very famous global leader eBay. You know, that is a webinar that is included in the framework that we regularly follow in our chamber, meaning that we have to acquaint our members with the possibilities of digitalization, because we think that digitalization is one of the major challenges Greece's economy faces ahead. We have organized a lot of seminars. We have organized events with participation of, for instance, of the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. And now I have the pleasure to introduce Danielle Biran from the platform eBay. You are acquainted, you are aware what is eBay. I don't need to introduce eBay especially, but I think you have to grasp the opportunity to develop new ideas and to include these ideas into the platform, into the opportunities that Danielle offers and eBay offers to you. Thank you very much for your attendance, and I pass the floor now to Danielle. She will tell us more, and she will accurately describe what are the steps and what is needed in order to make a profit out of this event this afternoon. Thank you very much for your attendance once again. Danielle.
Thank you so much, dear Manuel and Theodoros. I'm really happy to be here today. In fact, it's been a while since I've been physically to Greece. I quite miss it, and I hope that we will be able to travel this year and meet some more businesses and partners in person. In the meanwhile, I'm happy to be here and meet you from afar. And before I begin my presentation, I just wanted to thank the Thessaloniki Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We are honored to be working with you. And just to let the participants know, we chose the Thessaloniki Chamber of Commerce and Industry as a partner because we know and feel that we share the same agenda of supporting Greek SMEs, and I hope that we will find information here today valuable to you and to your business. So just allow me to share my screen. Okay, so like Emmanuel said, my name is Danielle. I'm based in Israel, so it's not that far away from Greece, and I've been working at eBay for 5 years. Over 3 of those years in charge of many markets worldwide, not just the Israeli market, including the very interesting and growing Greek market, as I will show you soon. So a little bit about what we will be talking today. So a little bit about the future of e-commerce past COVID-19. So it's maybe too soon to say past COVID-19 because we're kind of still in it. But if you look back at the uncertainty that was experienced during the first few months of the pandemic and the changes that it done worldwide, e-commerce specifically. So it's a really, really interesting case to discuss. And within this, I will also share some information about Greece. In general, what happens in the Greek market, what we see in terms of e-commerce, and also specifically at eBay, and why we are choosing to be here today, and also focus on supporting Greek SMEs. I will briefly cover what is a marketplace, what are the advantages of a marketplace for a business, and how it can help your business. I'll give you a hint here, it's much more than just traffic. Yeah, it's a complete new world, and I will be happy to share it with you. And finally, the reason that we are all here today, we have constructed a unique package of benefits and support for Greek SMEs, member of the Thessaloniki Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I will put soon in the chat here, or if you guys, Theodoros and Emmanuel, can help me and copy the link to the chat of the program for those of you who cannot stay till the end. We have a great program for you guys. We're looking forward to seeing the applications. So first, let's start what's going on with e-commerce worldwide. So the worldwide e-commerce industry, of course, keeps showing impressive growth rates, naturally fueled by the pandemic. And the retail e-commerce sales worldwide are expected to climb by nearly 17% this year. This is crazy, to nearly $5 trillion and grow up to $6.4 trillion by 2024. If we're looking on penetration of internet in general, and of course of e-commerce, also expected to grow, reaching over 60% penetration in the next few years by 2025. And another interesting trend, this is accompanied by an increase even in the average revenue per user, which is expected to climb to $850 per year. It actually makes a lot of sense, because if you think about the evolution of e-commerce and of internet and the trust that the buyers feel today versus the trust that they felt in the 90s or even in the early 2000s, of course, the trust grows. We see the same trends also on eBay with an increase of the high value buyers also in the past year. This is also, in fact, one of the focuses that eBay is putting in its multi-year strategy. So the e-commerce share of total global retail sales also grew by 18% in 2020 due to COVID-19. I think you can clearly see the spike here in the graph. And let's be real, obviously such unprecedented growth, which was highly driven by the uncertainty of the global pandemic. So this rate could not but slow down now that the situation is more or less stable and predictable. So even though this boom cannot continue forever, as you can see, the upward trend is here to stay. And it's estimated that in the next year, over 20% of retail sales will be attributed to e-commerce. And we can explain that, that the businesses that chose to take their business online during COVID saw how it works and, of course, continue to sell. So are buyers that previously didn't shop online due to many reasons, could be also psychological barrier. Now that they see that how comfortable it is to shop online, of course, continue this trend even after the beginning of the pandemic. And what I want to talk to you about today is also about cross-border trade and export. So the share of cross-border e-commerce is also accelerating. Let's say in 2016, it only accounted for 15% of total e-commerce worldwide. By 2022, by the end of this year, it's expected to reach 22%. I think it once again highlights that online export sales, it's no longer just an additional option for business growth, but it's an indispensable part of the strategy of any business really that wants to succeed. So if summarizing the first few slides, so cross-border trade is the way for businesses to grow these days, expanding to new markets, new buyers, and of course, businesses that do not want to stay behind should go online. We also see this on eBay, with a huge increase in the number of new sellers that joined the platform in 22 and also in 2021. I will get to that soon. Let's have a look what happens here in Greece. So first, in terms of GDP per capita. So the GDP per capita in Greece is expected to amount to over $21,000 this year, and should hyper increase, in fact, in the next 5 years to reach over $25,500 by 2026. So this, as you can see this clearly in the graph. However, in terms of population, so as you can see here, we can see a decrease in the population's growth, expected to decline to roughly 10.5 million inhabitants by 2026. This is actually the same trend, really, that we see in so many European countries. E-commerce in Greece. So what happened this year? So in 2021, 53% of the population of Greece shopped online. We're talking about roughly 6 million shoppers, and this number should increase by 9% by 2025. If we kind of put you on the map and compare you to other markets, so where are you standing? So this is compared to 86% in the UK, 79% in the United States, less than 60% in Italy. So in fact, there is room to grow. But on the other side, it's much more than the 52% in Portugal or 45% that we see in a huge market like Russia. What we see in terms of what's interesting for Greek e-shoppers, so mostly interested in shoes and clothing, and also consumer electronics. And an international comparison of the online shares show that, in fact, there is potential for higher online penetration in all of these categories in Greece. Now, we wanted to check and understand how concentrated is the seller's market in Greece. So we saw that the market value of the top 100 Greek e-shops, first, we see a huge growth in recent years. It's increased by over 70% since 2019. But we also see that, in fact, the market is concentrated. So the top 5 e-shops, you know who they are, account for over a quarter, account of 27% of the top 100 net sales in Greece in 2020. So before I take you to see what happens in eBay, I think that we can see clearly that for SMEs in Greece that want to grow their business, first, selling outside of Greece is, of course, a huge opportunity due to decline of population and how much the market is currently concentrated in terms of sellers online. So now I want to show you what we see here at eBay regarding Greek sellers. So first, I want to share with you, what do Greek sellers even sell on eBay? So as you can see, the top category for Greeks are collectibles. Collectibles is a category that grew significantly during COVID. People were stuck at home and were looking for new hobbies and how to pass the time. And we see a huge spike in sales from lists of stamps and coins and medals. A lot of also Christian and religious goods as well. Greeks are also very pronounced for their sales of fashion. And here we can see that there is a lot of sales of also branded fashion worldwide. And you can also see later a video of one of our fashion sellers. The third category is actually car parts. And here I can share with you that this is the biggest category on eBay today. This is something that I found surprising when I first started working at eBay, but we have a huge potential for car dealers on eBay selling all over the world. And as well, of course, consumer electronics, products for home and the garden, media, and also business goods. It is an industrial. I will show you examples soon. So just to have some numbers, so we checked to see a few items that were really sold well this year. So we see 35,000 video games sold by Greek sellers in eBay this year, 30,000 CDs, and 30,000 Greek stamps sold worldwide. And if we crunch the numbers, we can see that in 2021, a seller from Greece sold an item on eBay every 40 seconds. This is, of course, an amazing figure. We have 12,000 Greek sellers, and of course, this number has grown also post the pandemic, and we are certain that we can make this number even more impressive. Also, for today's event, we wanted to check what was the first item that was ever sold from Greece. So if you don't know, this was a garage record sold to a customer from Spain for less than $2. And the most expensive item ever sold from Greece, it was a handmade wristwatch with diamonds. It was sold to a customer from Malaysia for $120,000. So I think this is a really interesting comparison because it also shows how on eBay we can see sales of both cheap, very accessible items, but also very expensive items. Diamond rings could be big car parts, a lot of branded luxury. Yeah, so eBay invests a lot of efforts in building trust and protecting both the buyers and the sellers, to creating a safe marketplace where people can really feel comfortable making purchases in such high amounts of money. Yeah? Who buys from Greece? So I can share that most of the sales by Greek sellers are to the United States. We're talking about more than 1/3 of the sales, followed by the big European markets, for instance, the United Kingdom, Germany, Italy, and France. And we wanted to see specifically not just how Greek sellers are doing, but also how are you doing at the beginning of your activity at eBay. Yeah? And we saw that at the first year of activity, Greek sellers exported to an average of 4.5 countries, but this number was doubled to 9 countries on average in the second year of activity, and of course continues to grow as sellers mature and continue their activity on the platform. Okay, yeah, we cannot go without talking a bit more about COVID. So as you know, COVID-19 was a real accelerator for e-commerce. We witnessed many sellers starting to sell online and expand their business online, and it has also changed consumers' preferences around the globe, also here in Greece. And many people that did not shop online before started to shop online and even increased their purchases in a lot of different categories. And I want to share the trends with you. So I'm taking you back 18 months ago. Yeah, lockdowns all over the world, uncertainty, fear of crowding. It feels like a long time ago. It's really not that long ago. It was alongside a lot of time at home. So the first trend that we can see is purchase of necessities. Yeah, because even during lockdowns, we still need to buy necessities for home, such as automotive parts, computing equipment, vitamins, pet supplies. Of course, a spike in purchase of masks and respirators doesn't really require an explanation. Yeah. The second trend is that people spend a lot more time at home than what they were used to. And this has led people to enrich their home environment and try to make it more comfortable and pleasant for them to spend time in. And we can see here a 3-digit growth in purchase, for instance, of chairs, of garden light kits, and also impressive growth in purchase of art, plant seeds, anything that would make your house more beautiful and pleasant for you. And the third trend, this is maybe a good trend, yeah, if we're trying to identify good results of the pandemic, is that people had much more time to develop their new hobbies. And also, of course, those of you who have kids need to keep the kids busy as well. So we see a really, really sharp increase in purchase of everything that relates to hobbies and pastime, yeah, from video game consoles, stamps, Lego sets, but we can see this across all the collectibles and toys categories at eBay. So summarizing what we've discussed so far, yeah, so with the growth of e-commerce and increased penetration, export is the future. Now arises the question of how. And there are endless possibilities. Yeah, I'm often asked, how should a business enter new global markets, or what is the best way? And here to help me answer this question, let's remember for a moment Donald Trump before he became president of the United States. So what Trump has to do with this? Yeah. So have you ever watched the show The Apprentice? I don't know how huge it was in Greece, but here in Israel, it was very strong. And there's that episode where a few teams compete for best sales result for setting up a lemonade stand. Sounds simple, right? So there were a few strategies for winning the contest. It was best price, unique recipe, you name it. But do you know which team ended up winning the contest? Okay, so I'll take, as Donald put it, the first rule of business is location, location, location. The team that ended up winning the contest was the one that chose the best and most lucrative location for the lemonade stand. It was right downtown, where all the offices, businessmen were taking their lunchtime out. And why am I sharing this with you? Because it's not that different for e-commerce. Yeah, the first rule, mandatory to succeed, is traffic. How to bring buyers to even notice your products, to even see them. And by the way, if you don't know, this is Pierre Olivier. This is the the person that was in charge of eBay a long time ago. And reviewing the traffic of the world's leading retail website, it is evident that half of the monthly visitors are at marketplaces. The other half is of really, really big brands, yeah, such as Samsung, Apple, IKEA. Okay, so there is a huge advantage of marketplaces because the buyers are already there. And not only already there, they're already actively searching for products and are in the mindset of shopping. So if you're not a huge brand, you cannot overlook the option of marketplace to grow your business globally. And if you don't believe me, it's not just traffic, yeah? So if you can see, the online marketplaces also have nearly half of the share of digital purchases, not just traffic. But as I mentioned before, a marketplace is much more than just traffic. Traffic is important, but marketplaces also provide you with a complete package for managing your orders, your operations, and business growth. So just a few examples I put here, yeah, on the slide. I'm talking about the technology and the user interface, talking about data and having reporting to understand what sells fast, what's underpriced, what's overpriced, what do buyers look for, what they're searching for. Of course, payments, fulfillment and logistics, and one important, very important factor, trust. This is a key factor for sellers and for buyers, of course, even more so online. So going back to our question, should businesses opt for an e-commerce independent website or sell on marketplaces? And in my opinion, the answer to this question is that it's not a question of which channel to choose anymore, really, because it's a multi-channel world. Buyers shop in several marketplaces, websites, physical and online stores. And correct me if I'm wrong, you're all business owners. Businesses want to meet their buyers wherever they are. So we also see this rise, of course, in automation solutions to connect different channels together, creating seamless experience for sellers to manage their orders, to sell their inventory. But the bottom line is sell everywhere to sell more. And here's where I want to, before I sum up, I want to share with you how eBay can support your business in growing globally with us, and the details of the scaling program that we set up for businesses. So some stats, yeah. eBay is one of the largest marketplaces. We have 1.5 billion listings and 154 million active buyers from all over the world. And the traffic on eBay is really enormous. Yeah, we have over 250 million product searches every day. And during COVID, what we did, we really experienced an influx of many businesses turning to online channels. In fact, it was also a lesson for us. And we realized that we play a vital role in providing SMEs room to grow their business, create new revenue streams. And for this reason, we launched a big campaign during the first few months of COVID. We called it Always Open. It was, the campaign slogan was, your shop may be closed, the physical one, but your store on eBay is always open. And what we did, we set up a program that's aim is to efficiently help businesses start their business on eBay and grow it. And the secret is receiving professional help and tools to succeed and having some hand-holding, because this usually makes a huge difference for a business. Sometimes just having someone to turn to and answering your questions and guidance as to how to do this correctly can make the difference. And this is the reason that this program is so much built on personal support and customized solutions. So before I get into the details, what should the business consider when taking their business activity online? So I've concentrated here a few steps for you for starting the online activity on eBay. And of course, with the support program and our team's personal guidance, it's easier now than ever, And first step is to open the eBay account, eBay store. This would be your personal space on eBay, could also be branded to your liking. This is roughly quite simple registration. The next step is an important one. It's around discovering your potential and competitive edge. So it means to know what is the demand and the competition on eBay to help you choose your unique value proposition. Is it that your prices are cheaper than competitors? Is it that you sell really high demand goods? Okay, is it seasonality? It's important to know in order to make the buyer choose your product out of 1.5 billion listings on site. The third one is listing your item to eBay. It's creating a real strong listing with accurate details and great photos. And what's also very important for businesses is, of course, solutions to upload many items in bulk, not one by one manually, which of course saves businesses a lot of time. And we want you to have a quick onboarding to eBay as well. Number 4, promotions. So of course, attractive campaigns, bundles, offerings, also taking into account the special retail moments of e-commerce and seasonality. Just a few examples: Christmas, Black Friday, could be Mother's Day, Valentine's just around the corner. All of these are great opportunities for online sales. We just need to know how to take advantage of those. And last but not least, it's around communication with your customers. And if you do not sell online yet, know this. E-com buyers have really, really high expectations. They ask a question, they want it answered. Okay, if you say that an item will be shipped within a certain time, they expect to receive it by the time that it's mentioned. And also eBay, of course, ranks its sellers based on their performance. And we will, of course, explain all the different details and how to do this the right way on our program. So the details of our program. So eBay's SMB Accelerator, it's run by our experts, and qualified businesses can enjoy many benefits and support to make sure that you're starting and growing properly. So first, as I mentioned, you will have your very own growth consultant to guide you through the process and support your first steps It also includes a customized growth plan for the business with education and training, how to do things on eBay from A to Z, all the best practices, all the question answered. And we also put into this program a thought about what may deter businesses from making this step forward. And for this reason, we also included in the program store subscription for eBay, which is completely for free for the first 3 months of your activity. The last two are around, of course, technological ways that we help you with in order to list all of your inventory quickly and not one by one on eBay, and extended seller's credits. So you can list many items and sell really quickly and grow, because this is our mission as well. So I will also, after my presentation, I will add again the link on the chat. But just to say that this growth program is worth thousands of dollars for each business participant. It's offered completely for free for businesses of Thessaloniki Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Eligible businesses can get all of these benefits for starting their activity. I'd be happy to see your applications. I want to again thank you for having me here today, and at the end there will also be some time for questions if you have any. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Danielle. That was exciting. You have just shown that there is a space for everyone in the new channel that is calling e-commerce. Is not anymore so new as it used to be 10 years ago, but it is very, very interesting to see how it is increases, how it is developing from a platform to a cross-border trade enabling solution. And so I think there are questions, and I ask Mr. Axelichiotis to coordinate now the discussion that is probably ahead of us. Daniel is willing to, I suppose, to answer to different questions. Theodore.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for your detailed presentation. Prior to making to summarize the key points of your presentation, I would like to ask the audience to come up with questions.
Theodore, in the meanwhile, we can show the solar video and then give some time for people to write their questions.
We can start with the video and then, okay, gather all the questions. Okay, it's a very good thought.
Η επιχείρησή μας ξεκίνησε ως φυσικό κατάστημα το 1989. Ξεκίνησε ως οικογενειακή επιχείρηση σε μια περίοδο όπου ο κόσμος αγόραζε από φυσικά καταστήματα. Πλέον αυτό έχει αλλάξει και ο κόσμος αγοράζει από το ίντερνετ, αγοράζει από ηλεκτρονικά καταστήματα και αγοράζει προϊόντα από όλο τον κόσμο. Μετά τη δεκαετή οικονομική αστάθεια ήρθε και το κύμα του κορονοϊού και επηρέασε τόσο τη ζωή μας όσο και την καθημερινότητά μας. Μετά από 10 χρόνια που δούλευα σε ναυτιλιακές εταιρείες, είδα μια ευκαιρία στο e-commerce, οπότε αποφάσισα να αναλάβω την οικογενειακή επιχείρηση και να την αναπτύξω στην πλατφόρμα της eBay. Στη διεθνή αγορά πάντα υπάρχουν ευκαιρίες και δυσκολίες. Από εκεί και πέρα είναι στο χέρι του καθενός και με τα εργαλεία που δίνονται από το eBay να δουλέψει με αυτά και να γίνει ανταγωνιστικός. Ο λόγος που τόσο λίγοι επιχειρηματίες ασχολούνται με τις εξαγωγές είναι επειδή ίσως νιώθουν ότι υπάρχουν πολλές δυσκολίες, ίσως νιώθουν ότι δεν θα τα καταφέρουν. Με την πλατφόρμα της eBay όλα αυτά είναι πολύ εύκολο να λυθούν και να αρχίσουν να πουλάνε τα προϊόντα τους παγκοσμίως. Το eBay σου δίνει τη δυνατότητα να πουλήσεις σε χώρες παγκοσμίως, σε χώρες που ούτε τις έχεις φανταστεί, χωρίς να επενδύσεις καθόλου στο marketing. Για την εμπειρία μου με την πλατφόρμα της eBay μπορώ να πω πολλά θετικά πράγματα, μεταξύ των οποίων είναι η ευκολία που μπορείς να χρησιμοποιείς την πλατφόρμα ανεβάζοντας τα προϊόντα σου. Παίρνοντας μέρος στο project, με βοήθησε να διευρύνω τους ορίζοντές μου, να μάθω πράγματα από τους ειδικούς και έτσι να επεκτείνω την δραστηριότητα της online επιχείρησής μου στην πλατφόρμα του eBay. Τα ελληνικά προϊόντα φυσικά και μπορούν να έχουν ζήτηση ανά τον κόσμο, γι' αυτό και οι Έλληνες επιχειρηματίες πρέπει να ασχοληθούν με μια πλατφόρμα σαν το eBay, προκειμένου να πουλάνε τα προϊόντα τους παγκοσμίως. Σε όλους τους συμμετέχοντες αυτού του project, εύχομαι καλή επιτυχία.
Okay, so Danielle, I have seen one question so far, which is how can a company apply? Well, the answer is very simple. Perhaps I can switch to Greek for a while, if you allow me. Θα δείτε κάτω στο chat και αναφέρομαι στην κυρία Καραμανλή. Αν ανοίξετε το chat που έχει στο κάτω μέρος της οθόνης σας, θα δείτε ότι επάνω έχουμε το YouTube που μόλις είδατε και αμέσως μετά, με ώρα 3 και 25, είναι το link για να μπείτε για την αίτηση. Επίσης, το ίδιο μπορείτε να βρείτε και μέσα από το site του Επιμελητηρίου ή ανά πάσα ώρα και στιγμή μπορείτε να καλέσετε και στο γραφείο των Δημοσίων Σχέσεων του Επιμελητηρίου 370-130-370-131 για να σας βοηθήσουμε σε όποια στιγμή θέλετε.
Very well. That was an explanation to Greek for the steps that are needed to contact eBay.
Okay, I can answer the next few questions. I can see them in English on chat. So someone, Gabrielle, asked how much is the cost after the 3 first months for free? So that's a great question. So one of the costs on eBay is for listing an item. Just listing an item on eBay, usually it's a few cents, but for business sellers, since business sellers usually could have hundreds or even thousands of items, usually they would opt for opening their own store, eBay, with a fixed monthly pay to have an amount of listings to list. So it can range from few tens of dollars a month to few hundreds of dollars a month, depending on the store size and how many items do you want to sell. And of course, eBay fees and eBay stores, also part of the material that is covered in our education program as part of our support to new sellers.
I also have another question from Mr. Mrs. Gabriel Markoulis. I can allow them to speak, okay?
Hello.
Hello.
My question was already answered.
Okay. Thank you. Then we can.
That has been on the chat. How much is the cost of the 3 months free? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and next 2 questions I see are about shipping globally. Yeah, that's also very important question. So first, eBay is a platform that enables the seller full control over their business. And what it means is that you as Greek sellers can choose which logistic courier you would like to work with. Which one gives you the best tariff for your business, which one is most convenient for you to work with. So you can choose whichever courier that is relevant and, of course, right for your business. What we can do is, of course, because we have a lot of activity in Greece, we, of course, have partnerships with many logistics solutions, from standard solutions to express solutions, and we can, of course, connect you with different partners to receive offers from them. At the end of the day, you will choose the one that is relevant for you. Now, the question about the cost. So it, of course, usually is determined by what you ship and the size and volume of each item shipped, but also for volume. So that business sellers which ship in higher volumes may get access to better tariffs from their chosen logistics solution. So I can't really answer regarding the costs, only advise you, of course, that if you're already working with a logistics solution and you want to grow your business and start in a new marketplace, you may receive even better rates than what you had before, considering that you might increase your shipment volume significantly.
There's another question about taxation complications with countries outside Europe. Well,
yeah, so there are also taxation questions within Europe, outside of Europe, even also with the United Kingdom, and Brexit. So here, of course, we have a page that we can share with you about VAT regulations. But at the end of the day, I would suggest you to contact your accountant, or we have specialized VAT agencies that are also working with many eBay sellers. We can recommend few for you to choose from. But eventually, yeah, it would require also consulting with a third party that knows and specializes in VAT and taxation.
Yes, I see in the chat that there is a very lively discussion and a lot of questions about either the freight or the taxation, or also traditional Greek foods, so such as raw honey, and shipping conditions. A lot of questions that have to do with the details of selling.
Yeah, so I see that the last question is about negotiated better prices. So definitely part of what we do is work with also logistics solutions and get benefits and better tariffs for eBay sellers. As I mentioned, anyone that participates in the program, we would be happy, of course, to connect you with the partners that we work with, and you can get access to the tariffs negotiated for eBay sellers. Again, repeating myself, it would be up to you to choose which one is the best for you. We can only recommend and introduce you to partners.
There's another question, if you're planning to add listings in euros.
So, okay, yeah, eBay, I'm guessing that you're asking about eBay.com. So eBay has several platforms, and Greeks mostly use eBay.com, which is primarily for US buyers, but also worldwide. But what we usually do with businesses is we start with listing at one platform. For instance, Greece, eBay.com is the primarily platform, but also expanding the business to additional eBay platforms. And we have several eBay platforms. For instance, we have a designated platform for the UK market, ebay.co.uk, which of course the prices are in pounds. We have one for Germany, for Spain, for Italy, and each such platform has, of course, the currency of the buyers within this platform. I hope that it answers your question.
There's another question, what about returns?
Okay, so of course, returns, if you enable return on eBay, it means that you also enable buyers to return their item for any reason whatsoever. It means that even if they just change their minds, you want to allow them to still return the item. This is one thing, yeah. And in this case, of course, if you do allow returns, which we of course strongly recommend, you can say if the return costs are paid by the seller, means by you, or by the buyers. This is one scenario. Another scenario is if the return is because of something that the seller did wrong. I'll give you an example. For instance, if you're selling sneakers and your buyer ordered one pair, like red color, but you made a mistake and shipped a yellow set of shoes. In this case, of course, you will have to offer return to the buyer because it was your fault, and you would also need to pay for the return because it was seller's fault. But again, this is really a complete world of how to communicate with buyers, and of course how to do best on the platform, and all will be thoroughly, of course, discussed within the growth program.
Another client is selling honey. So can he exported through eBay?
Okay, so first, you just made me a craving for having some bread with honey. And the answer regarding food is that you can sell food on eBay. There are a lot of policies as to how and which types of foods can be sold. For instance, regarding proper packaging of food and expiration date. So I would suggest you to also Google food eBay policy, and you would find all the relevant requirements for selling food on eBay.
Another remark or demand is that since an SME is too small to affect prices regarding shipping cost, to affect prices and freight cost, perhaps you as a big player can negotiate better prices for them.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, definitely, yeah, we have several agreements with several of the partners and better rates for eBay sellers.
Another question is, if we already have products with labels in Greek, how important or necessary is to translate them in English? Well, I think it's very important.
Yeah.
People speak Greek. Are you planning to send eBay payout in US dollars?
Okay, so I think it was also answered.
Yes. What happens if I haven't enabled returns and my client receives the damaged products? I think we should insure them.
Yeah, so if the buyer receives the damaged product, this is a great example of something that eBay considered as seller fault. So the ability of a seller to accept returns is only ones that are of reasons that are not your fault. As I mentioned before, like buyer changed his mind. But if anything with the transaction didn't went good, well, like you shipped the wrong item or damaged goods, you would be required to allow returns.
Well, I can't see any more hands or questions. Αν κάποιος θέλει μπορεί να σηκώσει το χεράκι που υπάρχει κάτω στο raise hand που λέει. So Daniel, let me summarize what you've said. I was astonished that 53% of the Greeks shop online. I would expect a lower number. There are over 12,000 Greek eBay sellers, and the Greek sells an item on eBay every 40 seconds. That was also amazing. Now, what our companies, the companies that are TCCI members can benefit from this event? Okay, they can, by getting into eBay, they can start business globally and sell their products to 154 million buyers. The support program that was presented today includes, I will summarize them from what I heard, hand-holding and customized support from a personal growth manager from eBay, a personal training program to set up the activity on eBay, higher selling limits to enable fast growth. And for how long is this, Danielle? For how long is this higher selling limit?
So the higher selling limits are basically a great head start for sellers, because if you're an independent seller on eBay, because eBay wants to see that you know how to treat the buyers and you wouldn't cause harm to buyers. Usually eBay only allows for new sellers to list a very small number of items. But for the business sellers that we choose to support within the program, of course, we want them to grow quickly. So we enable them to list thousands right from the start.
Okay. And finally, the companies that will choose to join this program, they get a free store subscription on eBay for 3 months. Like I said, you can see the eBay support program on the chat, but you can also call us or send us an email and you will have the relevant link. Thank you very much, Danielle. Since there is no raised hand.
Danielle, it has been indeed a pleasure, great pleasure to have you during this webinar. We're explaining all the features of the eBay project, and I want to encourage our members have participated to this webinar to grasp the opportunity to see how they can the best out of this offer for their businesses, and to wish all of them good luck. And thank you very much for your presentation this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to having our next webinar sharing success stories.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That would be nice.
And we should also thank the participants that at this moment are 40 for their attention. Thanks very much, everybody.
Thank you. Keep safe.